أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير آمين يا رب العالمين. With the grace of Allah, we have completed ism at basic Arabic grammar level. Today we are going to make our start on fail. As you remember, when we started discussing Arabic grammar, we said that parts of speech in Arabic are only three, and these are called Aqsamul Kalima. So Aqsamul Kalima are parts of speech in Arabic are ism, which is noun is noun in English, fail, which is verb, and harf, which we can translate as particle. So up till now we have been talking about ism, and during the discussion of ism we did address some particles such as inna. As we are going to discuss fail, some other particles will also come into our discussion. So there's not going to be a separate topic of particles. We have completed ism, and our next topic is fail. Fail in Arabic is divided into two, covering three sentences. So sentences are three, but fail is only of two. Madi, which is past, and that covers past tense, we call it past perfect tense, and Mudari'a, which covers both present and future. Before we make formal start of verb at basic Arabic grammar level, let's recap. We have talked about patterns and roots in Arabic. So if we look at these words in these three horizontal lines, so we do not necessarily have to know the meanings of these words at this particular point in time. But if you look carefully, start reading from here, kitabun, maktabun, kitabatun, maktabatun, katbatun, maktubun, khatibun. You will see soon that three letters are contained in all these words. Similarly here, ilmun, ulumun, talimun, muallimun, i'lamun, ma'lumun, alimun. And then kudratun, kadirun, takdirun, miktarun, muqtadirun, maqdurun, qadirun. So in all these words along vertical lines, we have three common letters here, which are contained in all these words, another three here, and yet another three here. So here we have kaf, ta, ba is common to all these words. Here ain, lam, mim is common to all these words, and here kaf, dal, ra is common to all these words. So basically this three letter combination, which covers Arabic words up to 99.9% of the Arabic words, it covers this three letter combination. This is in Arabic it's called jazr, and in Persian it's called mada, which basically means root. So in conclusion, 99.9% of Arabic words have a three-letter root. And that three-letter root is very important as far as the meanings of those words are concerned, and it becomes easy to work out the meanings of different words. Quite often it is possible to do so. Also, if we look here, I have just highlighted these three words, vertical column, we can say this. Khatibun, alimun, khadirun. If we focus on these three, we will see the pattern. They have got a common pattern. So the pattern here is that of fa'ilun. So these three-letter roots, for the purpose of teaching, training, learning, they have been given the name of not really dummy root, but kind of model root, which we call fa and lam. So fa and lam is our model root. I'm saying model because this is not dummy. There are some words from are formed from this combination as well. So if we look here, katibun, our three-letter root is kaf ta ba, and our terminology is that kaf here is fa kalima, ta here is an kalima, and ba here is lam kalima. That's for ease of reference. Or we can say first radical, second radical, or third radical, or first root letter, second root letter, or third root letter. So in the pattern of fa'ilun, we have fa ain lam, which is the root, the three root letters. And when we add alif after fa, that becomes fa'ilun. And along these three roots, on the pattern of fa'ilun, we have khatibun, alimun, khadirun. So these give similar meanings in a way that they give the name of the person who is doing the action of the verb. That's the meaning of all these three words. We do not have to exactly go into meanings, but here we can say katibun is the one who writes and alimun is the one who possesses a lot of knowledge. So so this pattern, this system of root and pattern is very, very important as far as understanding the Arabic language is concerned, and it makes it very easy to learn the language as far as the grammar goes. So we can recap that the first radical is called fa kalima, second radical is called ain kalima, and third radical is called lam kalima. So in kitab, which commonly translated as book, three root letters are kaf, ta, ba, and we will say kaf is in this particular root fa kalima, ta, the middle one is ain kalima, and the third radical is lam kalima. So it is really important to focus on this terminology, and it's not difficult. Rather than saying first radical, second radical, third radical, because we are going to learn Arabic, so we should become familiar and start using Arabic terminology. Let's move on to our first root here. I brought this, I've already made this chart here. So we have talked about root. We have root here, which is za, ha, and ba. And za, ha, ba is equivalent to saying in English to go. It gives the meaning of to go, and we know that in English to go is a kind of masdar. We have said it's infinitive, which behaves or is considered to be equivalent to the concept of masdar in Arabic. So za, ha, ba, which we already know that masdar is the source of different words, which gives us similar meanings on a general level. So that helps to find out the meanings of different words. I'm not going to go into details. I have discussed this in one of the previous videos, and if you want a refresher, please go back and watch that video again. So let us start on Zahaba. Zahaba, to go. So clearly these are three separate root letters, and when we have to make words from these three letters, we'll have to put them together. And in this particular root, the way to put them together is that we write it like this. Zal is separate, and ha and ba are put together. So we have zal, ha, ba. And then to pronounce zal, ha, ba, we will have to put short vowels, and which we know there are three, which is fatha, dhamma, and kasra, and then the fourth one is not haraka. It's actually gives silence to a letter, and that's called sukoon. So if we start from here, before we go into Arabic and go through this chart, let's go back to English. What we said quite a while ago in one of the initial videos, that in Arabic, the words, there is inflection of the words which we have noticed. For example, we say Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin. In Kalama we say Muhammadun. In Adhan we say Muhammadan. And in what would you call Durood, we say Muhammadin. Okay, so Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin is inflection, that the words change, and the change occurs in the last part of the word. This inflection, when it is applied to nouns, we know it's called declension. So nouns in Arabic decline, we know that. And when that inflection is applied to verbs, it's called conjugation. And the translation of that is tasrif. Tasrif means surf changing of the words. Basically, that's what tasrif means. I have also discussed this word in one of the previous videos when we discussed what was the different sciences of Arabic grammar, and we said one of them is tasrif, surf, the science of surf, science of nahv and science of surf. So science of nahv is how we put different words together, whether they are ism or fail or harf, the way we put them together to make sentences, that's nasab. And how the words then change with these harka, that's our surf, the sense of surf, which is then the conjugation is called tasrif. So if we do conjugation of to go in English, we start with the first person. So I will say we will do the past tense because we are starting with the past tense. We are starting with Madi, and with the time we are going to move on to Mudare. So when we conjugate to go in the past tense in English, we start with the first person and say, I went, we went. So I is both for masculine and feminine, and we is also both for masculine and feminine. So there's no gender differentiation here in the first person. When we talk about conjugate that in the second person, we say you went. If it is a man, we will say you went. If it is a woman, we will say you went. Again, there's no gender differentiation here either. And again, in plural, we'll say they went. Many men and many women, they went. So again, there is no gender differentiation here either. When we move on to third person in English, we say he went. So gender differentiation has come here. He for male, for a man, and she went for a woman. And then we say they all went. We will say, if they're all men, we'll say they went or women, we will say they went. So basically we have 2 plus 2, 4 plus 3, 6 conjugation forms in English of this we can call masdar to go. Now in Arabic, we start with a third person, and we are not, in this particular example, we are not going to have just 2 plus 2, 4 and 3, 7 forms. We are going to have these 14 forms, but they're not really difficult because we have already worked on this paradigm when we were working on the Meyer. So what we said basically was one of the Meyer, that huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta antuma antum, anti antuma antunna, ana nahnu. So the pattern, this paradigm is the same, but now we are going to go through this paradigm with different verbs. So to go in Arabic will be zal, ha, ba, and because we start from the third person in Arabic, so after putting za, ha, ba, zal, ha, ba, not za, zal, ha, ba together, we will have to give short vowels, harka. So it makes it easy in the third person singular masculine first form here. The first radical, which is fa kalima, takes fatha, and the third kalima also takes fatha. We can put blindly fatha here, and we will be okay. So that will apply to conjugation of all the verbs in Madi, in the past tense. The middle kalima, which is ain kalima, the harka will change from verb to verb, and this may take fatha, this may take dhamma, this may take kasra. So in the case of to go, it takes fatha. So that's why I've highlighted that with red color here. So our third person masculine singular conjugation form of to go in Arabic is zahaba. Zahaba does not really mean to go, because this is not masdar. This is first conjugation form of the verb, and it actually means he went. Zahaba, he went. So where is he? We cannot see here. We cannot see he here. He is basically huwa. So you will say, okay, why don't we say huwa zahaba? If we say huwa zahaba, then huwa is noun, and that will be the mubtada, because we're starting the sentence with huwa, which is a noun, and zahaba will become its khabar. So that will not remain jumla failure. We will have to make jumla failure here, different jumla failure here, rather than jumla ismiya. We took quite a bit of time to go to jumla ismiya in the first part. Here we're going to start making sentences straight away from the first video today. So zahaba means he went, and in this particular case, when we say he in the form of his dhamir, we are never going to see he here. We are never going to see huwa here. Zahaba will mean he went. When we go here, because in Arabic we have got tasniya as well. So if we want to say those two men went, so we will have to add alif here after this third radical, after this lam kalima. So that becomes zahaba. This is zahaba, zahaba. So in a way, this is actually is file here, because every verb needs a doer of the action of the verb, which is called file. So every fail has file. The file here is hidden, which we call mustatir. It's just Arabic terminology. You don't have to remember at this point in time. And here that has become visible in the form of this alif. And zahaba means those two men or those two boys went. And then we have they all went. And in this case, you will see here that these Zar Haba, they are coming together everywhere. There's nothing in between them. Every addition which is happening is after the third radical, which is the Lam Kalima. So in this case, we add Waw and that becomes Zaha Bu. Because Dhamma goes with Waw, Fatha really doesn't go that much with Waw. Fatha goes with Aleph. So Fatha has got affiliation, we can say, with Aleph, while Dhamma has got affiliation with Waw. So if you have to pronounce Waw properly, it should be preceded by this Dhamma. Though this is not always the case, but in conjugation, that always works. So Zahabu. So here Fatha has changed to Dhamma because of this Waw, because Dhamma goes with Waw. Waw has got affiliation with Dhamma. And this Aleph here is just the spelling rule. So we'll have to add Aleph here. So Zahabu, they all went, and Waw is the file here. Waw is the subject here. Then we have to say she went, then we say Zahabat. So this is not file here. This is ta of ta'nis, ta of femininity. So that will take a schoon. So Zahabat. So after third kalima, all these three have fatha. This ta of ta'nis is going to take a schoon. And our fourth conjugation form is Zahabat. She went. Again, we cannot see she here. We're never going to see she here. In dual form, in Tasniya, those two women went. So similarly, Aleph is added after this ta of Tanis, and because we have added Aleph, and before Aleph we are going to have a Fatha. That is Zaha Bata. So up till here you will see there is one kind of, we can say, one kind of theme or one kind of pattern up to number 5. And then comes the turn of they all those women went. And one way of just memorizing it or having this in our brain, at the level of brain, is to think of this is Noon Niswa, and the story goes that Noon Niswa, she wants schoon before it. She wants silence. She says, I have been up since morning. I did say my prayer, and then I got children ready. Then I made breakfast everybody, and then I took children to school. Now I want sukoon. So Noon Nisma demands sukoon. It's just a way of saying it. So when we come to sixth form, the last kalima here, the third kalima is actually this, but the file here, before the file we will have sukoon. So this becomes Zahabna. They all went. All those women went. And from here, when this sukoon comes on the third kalima, which is Lam kalima, in this case it is Ba, the Lam kalima, this sukoon persists throughout the conjugation. This is just the way it is. So from here, this different pattern or theme starts, and it persists till the end. So Zahabna, those all women went. And then we have Zahabta. Ta is file here. So you went, you male went. Zahabta. Zahabtuma, you two men went. So we can see here, this is just like Anta. In Anta, we can see ta here, not an. Here, it doesn't go like this. It's huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. Here we can see noon. But here, anta, antuma, antum, we can see ta here. So, zahabta, you went. One male person, one man went. You two men went. That will be zahabtuma. Zahabta, zahabtuma, zahabtum, you all men went. So anta, antuma, antum. So those the Maya, they have started making their appearance, kind of their appearance here. Not only the presence here as it is, but kind of you can see them partly here as well. Then Anti will be Zahabti, she, you, female went. Zahab Tuma, you two women went. And Zahab Tunna, you all women went. So that's our second person. Third person, second person. And when we come to first person, then we have again Ta here, but this time Ta takes Dhamma. You know, here it takes Fatha, here it takes Kasra, and here it's already taken here Skoon. So we are left really with Dhamma here. So Zahabtu, I went, and Zahab Na is like this, but there is Alif here. So this Zahabna, this Zahabna, we all went. And in first person, we have only two forms because if two men are standing on a stage, they will say, we went. If more than two are standing, 3, 4, 5, 6, they will say, we went. Similarly to women, we went, we went. So here we have only two forms. So this way, we have 14 conjugation forms of a verb in Arabic. It is just really, it's not really difficult, but it's just kind of focusing on that after the fifth form, when it changes, the Skoon comes, then Skoon persists and it becomes easy to remember. I'm going to stop here. Inshallah, we will discuss further in the next video. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.